Alright guys, this video is Birdman from Ford Raptor Forum, and what I'm doing is I'm installing the vinyl letter decals on the front of my grill, which I picked up from one of our vendors. And basically the instructions state that you should stick them on dry, and you basically get one shot at getting them on. Now, I don't know if that's the truth because they're not that sticky, but they're sticky enough where you would probably have a hard time getting them just right without really creasing the edges or risk tearing it, or you leaving bubbles, and basically just getting frustrated. And especially some of the letters like the R and the F have thinner strips where the corners would be prone to tearing if you went to rip it back off after it was pretty well stuck. It'll probably stretch a little bit, but these are laminated, so they're a little thicker and easier to work with than just straight vinyl. So what I'm going to do is clean this with glass cleaner. Not that it isn't already clean, but let that sit for a minute. And I'm not really too concerned about lint or anything of that nature because of the process I'm going to use. It's foolproof. But so I'm using a solution of soap and water, like 2 drops of Dawn into about 3 or 4 cups of water, and that's probably pushing it. You really don't need a lot of soap, and you shouldn't use a lot of soap because it will make the vinyl probably peel off at some point. But I think I got my mix just right, and I'm sure there's some genius out there that will tell me that I'm doing this wrong, or this isn't the right way, or that I should have used palm olive instead of Dawn. I don't care. It seems to work pretty well, and I'll let you know if they peel off, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I have absolutely no bubbles and all perfectly straight, which I don't believe would have been possible if I tried to do it dry. I'm sure a skilled person in this trade could do it, but not me. So what I've got here is the D, last letter. And what I'm doing is I've already peeled the backing off. You see it's pretty thick stuff. And I'm going pretty generous with the soap and water solution. And then what this is going to allow you to do is move the decal around, smush it around till you get it just where you want it, and then you can squeegee it on there. So I pre-measured these. I did sort of a test fit before I did this, and I mean, these stickers aren't perfect by any means, so they're not going to go on perfectly. They're not shaped exactly the size of the grill or anything, but they're pretty darn good. And so what I determined with the D is that it's got to be pretty close to the left side of the letter, not quite overlapping, and it won't. None of the letters will overlap, at least the ones I got. And then at the top, I'm really just ignoring each individual letter and just trying to keep a straight line, equal distance on all the stickers. So this is where this method comes in handy. Is now I can smush this around and really just get it where I want it. Make sure that line at the top is perfectly straight. Just go little sections at a time. Don't try to pull the whole decal because it won't work. If you're able to, then you probably use too much soap and it's not going to stick anyway. So now that line is perfectly straight. This left side line is perfectly straight. It does have a bit of a taper to it because the letter does and the sticker is straight, but the bottom and the top are straight, and the D, again, this kind of has a taper to it where it curves off, but it's just the letter we're doing here. And then the inside, that's just going to have to be how it is, and it looks good. So what I did next is I took a Bondo putty knife, put some masking tape on it because it seemed like it might scratch the surface otherwise, and just hold the decal where you want it. Make sure you hold firmly here, and this isn't the final thing, but just kind of go over it just to get any of that soap and water out of the way. Go to the closest edge you can find here, and then go to the left, and then once you know it needs to be where it is, just kind of push all the air and the water and the soap, all the good stuff right out of there. You have to use your fingers to make pretty sure it's going to get out of there. Just like that. Okay. Perfect. So, we've got some bubbling over here. It's just water. Air. If that was air, we'd have a problem. You can see the water comes right out. And then just right over there. Then what I'm doing next is, because you can literally see the water coming out, I'm just going to dry this a little bit carefully, because this isn't adhered completely yet. I'll just go around and squish out any remaining bubbles, and then the towel will kind of pick up the water that's coming out so that it won't run back down into your sticker. And then you basically just have to wait about a minute or so. And once that water begins to kind of dry behind there, that's when it's going to really start to stick. So, give another quick once over, make sure the bottom's good. No bubbles. These corners tend to be troublesome, but while we're waiting, if you haven't joined FordRaptorForum.com yet, please do. That's my shameless advertisement for the day. We're pretty good here. I mean, there's a couple of little air pockets, and I shouldn't even say that. There's little tiny bubbles of water under there, which I'm just going to have to work out when it dries, because I don't want to fool with this anymore. But basically, that is it. Looks pretty good. These went on pretty quickly. The whole thing took me about 20 minutes. So, there you go. That's what she looks like now. See over here where I've already finished these? Perfect. Couple little tiny bubbles, but we'll get those out. Now it's looking sweet. Bye-bye.